Dr. Ayers, and I just am tripping over my headphone cord. I'm here in my studio, and I wanted to show you guys really quickly the song that I have been working on for you guys. I have gone through several drafts of this, and I've thrown out a bunch, actually, but the version that I've got now, I've got the full opening section put together, and I really like it. I have a really great idea for what the middle section and the ending are going to look like too, but we're not going to look at that today. I wanted to show you guys what I have been writing, kind of show you the way that it's been put together, and then play you an example. Now, you'll have to use your imagination a little bit because there's not actual singers, but you'll get a sense of what it's about. So I'm going to shrink myself down here. And theoretically, you might still be able to see me. Not that we really care. I'm just going to hide myself. Yeah. I could put myself... This is about as small as I can make myself, though. Sure, this is fine. Just hang out way down here. Okay, so the piece is called There Came a Wind Like a Bugle, and as you can see, I've kind of got it set up here. This is just in rough draft mode. I use a program called Finale to write all of my music. It's what I've used for years and years. I learned on it, and at this point I'll probably never change because it's really easy. You can see here on the musical score, the way this is set up, it'll actually scroll forever without ever having to turn a page. So we can go and look through all of this opening section, and I can show you what we've got. So first of all, the way this opening section is designed is we actually have 4 voice parts, but you get to choose which one you want depending on which one fits your voice the best. So they're in order, kind of, tenor 1, tenor 2, baritone, and bass. And if you can find one of those parts that works for you, you're good. And that's the way this whole song is going to work. The way it's put together, it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. Because I'm in here, I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks crazy. But every single phrase is the same thing. So each of the 4 parts has one phrase. I just want this to show up. Each of the 4 parts has one phrase that gets repeated 4 times, and they layer one on top of the other. So one starts, and then the second part comes in, and then the third part comes in, and the fourth part, kind of like Row, Row, Row Your Boat in canon, except everybody has their own little mini melody that they're singing, and they all lock together. So the 4 phrases, and I'll sing them for you in the order that they show up. There's this first one, which goes... There came a wind like a bugle. And that's the whole thing. And it starts soft and gets louder, and then backs off a little way. That's kind of what the shape of all of them do. The second one goes... It quivered through the grass. So it's spooky. And then the third phrase that comes in, it goes, and a green chill upon the heat did pass, and a green chill upon the heat did pass, or something like that. I can't remember. That one's the newest. And then the fourth phrase here goes, so ominous did pass, so ominous did pass. And there's a little bit of an echo here, so if I'm like slowing down as I'm singing, it's my fault. But it'll be all steady. In addition to those 4 parts, we also have a little piano here, which I know that I'm excited about because Ms. Truax is a really good piano player, and so I'm trying to write something that'll be fun for her. And then I thought if you guys thought it was a good idea that I could, for the recording that we make, I could do the percussion parts for you. So we have a percussion part 1, which is just a snare drum. I'm slowing down because of this echo, sorry. And the snare drum has a little cymbal that he does later. And then the second percussion part is actually like a vibraphone, and it's not getting used a whole lot in this opening section, but it's going to be added in a little bit, and it'll be a big part of the middle section of the piece and the ending too. The vibraphone player, since they're not doing really anything in the first part, I added this bass drum, which just kind of every 2 measures goes. So there's this big booming bass drum that kind of sounds like something far off. And the idea is that this wind comes sweeping in, right? And then when this section ends, you'll hear how it kind of dies away and then gets really big. And I'll show you how that goes. But I just wanted to play this bit for you guys, and I'll play it for you a couple times, once so that you can just listen, and then another part where I talk over it and kind of show you all of that stuff that that I just talked about. Like I said, you're gonna have to use your imagination, because these sounds are all computerized. There's no voices, right? So you have to kind of follow along and use your ears. Where you see words and the voice part, it's going to sound like cellos. And that's just because there's not an easy way to get this computer to synthesize the human voice. It's possible, but it takes a lot of work, and I don't do that very often at all. So anyway, here's There Came a Wind Like a Bugle, A section in a rough draft form, and it's just like a minute or so I'll play it for you a couple times. If you follow the green line, it'll show you where we are. So that kind of shows you a little bit of what we're looking at here. This middle section that just played goes, "We barred the windows and the doors as from an emerald goes." So it's spooky, right? And you can already tell from the opening section that I just played that this is all kinds of spooky, right? So it starts off, "There came a wind like a bugle," and it's like it's coming from the distance. "It quivered through the grass, it quivered through the grass." And again, that's the whole phrase, right? You don't even have to sing both of those. You only have to pick one of these 4 phrases for the opening that work, right? So if you can't sing "There Came a Wind Like a Bugle," you could sing "It Quivered Through the Grass." And if that doesn't work, you can sing "And a green chill upon the heath." did pass, and a green chill upon the heat. That's cool. And then this so ominous did pass. I love it's really low. If you have a bass voice, you can do this, but it also works up the octave, and you can go so ominous did pass, so ominous, so ominous. And ominous means like that terrifying feeling of something lingering over your head, right? We talked about that a little bit. So there's all of that going on and layering, and underneath the snare drum is like, and it's just luring the storm closer. And we get a little taste of it, right? When it goes, we barred the windows and the doors. I love that, right? But it's gonna back off a little bit, and we're gonna have a little bit of the vibraphone kind of being that dum 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 dum, which you'll hear right here. Dum 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 dum. That's a little preview of the sound of the electric moccasin, which could be like a giant smashing shoe, or it could be a thunderbolt. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's definitely a lightning bolt or something. Oh, geez. I am all kinds of washed out here. Oh my. Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to play it for you one more time, and then hopefully we'll be able to talk soon, and you guys can tell me what you think. We'll go from there. It's going to be a cool piece. It starts out spooky, then it's going to have like a pre-section before it gets scary again. And then it's going to have like a really peaceful, triumphant sort of ending. I think you guys are going to really like it. And sorry, I'm all blown up here. Anyway, here it is one more time. Snare. Big, giant footsteps in the background. There, here comes another big. And the third part's come in already. There's all these great crescendos and articulations to make this really cool. And then as your phrases die away, if you say it the fourth time, they just get held for 4 more measures. Again, that number 4. And this big thing. And what we're also doing there is changing keys for just a hot second. We were in this kind of A minor thing. Then we go into E major. Sorry, that was really loud. Which is, it's a cool key. It works for that. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can fix this. Settings here. All right. Okay, guys, so that is a little taste of what I'm working on. I'm gonna send this to Ms. Truax, and hopefully she'll be able to show it to you guys, and then at some point soon, we'll have a chance to talk together. I know you guys are all on Christmas break right now. It's December 29th when I made this video. So it'll probably be a while before we talk, and I'll have more written by then. But I wanted to show you guys where I am so far, because I think it's pretty cool. Okay, bye.